Hey guys, welcome back. This is By the Book, and we are your married relationship coaches. We're talking about Married at First Sight, Season 15, Episode 6. I'm going to say, I think I'm confident that this is Episode 6.
Episode 6.
Let's get into talking about Lindy and Miguel. I guess stuff is starting to heat up. We're starting to see a little bit of the drama, and yeah, this is not one of my favorite couples, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But husband, do you have any initial comments about Lindy and Miguel? We talked about some of their red flags last time.
Yeah.
So what have you got for us today?
Lindy and Miguel. I think she should run. Yeah, I mean, oh boy in the bear costume. What could I say?
She hasn't even seen him in a bear costume yet.
Yeah. They consummated their wedding.
That's the
their
big
marriage
deal.
vows.
That's a big deal.
Huge. And I think that was a huge mistake on her part, because I believe she did it contrary to what she was saying to everybody, that this was her decision. But I think she was doing it just to kind of like pull him in, to try to get him and get him more comfortable with her, try to sell him on her sex or whatever the case may be. But here he is, he's still in limbo. He's just like, hey.
Yeah, he hasn't changed. And that's the funny thing, watching some of these couples, you see unfold some of the things that just happen to regular women and men in everyday relationships.
Yeah.
It just like kind of puts a spotlight on some of those things. And I feel like what we saw her do was compromise her standards.
Yes.
Right? She had a standard that she set out. She wasn't ready to do that. It needed to be something very meaningful for her. And where was the meaning? Where was the meaning? I mean, there wasn't anything. What happened in fewer than 5 days? She said that a few days ago.
Yeah. And she got called out on it.
And now, and good. I'm glad Saskia said something to her about it, because maybe at some point it will smack her back into reality. I mean, I think it's kind of late now.
Yeah.
She just put herself in a bad spot, because when you try to set the tone, and then you like go back on what you said, now that person understands that they can finesse you out of anything. You're not going to stand your ground.
Yeah.
So he just finessed her out of the cheeks, and that's it. Now she's defensive. You can sense she didn't get angry necessarily, but you could sense like a vibe from her that was very defensive when she was confronted about it. And I don't know if it's because she feels bad or embarrassed that she did compromise her standards, or if she just wants don't talk about it. Like, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing type of thing. I'm not sure, but I don't think she knows what she's doing.
No.
I think that when he pretty much was firm on the way he feels and the way he falls in love and this and that, he kind of gave her the sense that I'm not going to fall in love with you unless we're physically connected. Yes. And so she tried to bring it home. She tried to bring it home with consummating the marriage, and it didn't change a thing. No. As we saw later, she wanted to talk to Stasia about her relationship, and I was like, you need to just really focus on you. You don't have time to worry about whether Nate is authentic or not. Your own husband is not all that authentic. No. If he didn't respect...
He's authentic to him.
Yeah, he didn't want to respect what she put out there. Yeah. He wanted us to go along with his terms, and then in the process, she's convinced herself that, hey, this was my idea, or this was, a joint decision, which I'm not saying that he took it. I'm just saying, she was convinced. Yeah. And so now you see her... look, he's in the driver's seat from this point forward. Yeah. Now you see her kind of coming to him. I can't remember if they were on the beach or where they were at the time when they were having this conversation. But she's coming to him and she's saying, well, basically keep me in the loop as to where you are. Because he's like, I'm still not sure. I'm still not, sure what's going to happen after this 8 weeks. Yeah. And she's like, well, hey, I gave you everything I had. And so, you still don't know? Well, 5 days was too fast, honey. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you.
I think it's really important that women hold on to your women, hold on to your morals, hold on to your values, and let things develop naturally when you are feeling more comfortable with it. If you're afraid that you're going to lose this guy, just like she was afraid that she was going to lose Miguel, then he's not worth having in the first place. And so here he is. He's playing dating games. Mm-hmm. And so is she. She's kind of falling in line.
To be fair, don't you think it's hard in a situation where you're thrust into a marriage with someone you don't know to not treat it like dating? I would treat it like dating.
It should be, but it should be more or less trying to get to know a person on such a level of a mental level, the emotional level first before you go. You get into the physical, because it's the same rules apply. Second verse, same as the first, and so it's kind of like if you give the guy all of this physical gratification so fast, then there's nothing else for him to kind of like latch on to. And it's like, oh, well, it didn't happen for me. I don't feel what you feel. Yeah, because there was no build up.
And then she'll be brokenhearted.
Yeah, and yes, a man is gonna push you for sex. That's what men do. But however, it's I hate to put it on women, but it's up to the woman to pump the brakes and say, slow down. Let's get to know one another.
Yeah. And I think, again, I can't reiterate this point enough. The fact that she set the tone, she tried to set a standard, and then she released it. She relinquished. I think it would have been better for her if she was just forward sexually. Yeah. And she's like, hey, I'm ready. You ready? Okay. And then they did it, because it would have been more on her terms. But now he, like I said, he's in the driver's seat. He knows that he controls the situation, and depending on what kind of person he is, he may misuse that.
He looks like a person, or he seems like
he
a
looks
person.
Like one. I don't like the look of this guy.
He seems, no, those guys in those bad costumes, you can't trust them. But no, he seems like a person who's going to take advantage of it, and he has so far, because it's just like you just said, here she she gave him the best she got, and he's still on the fence, and so. What? He's in control. Hey, I'll see you in 8 weeks. Keep giving me what you got, and then we'll find out.
And then, so the last thing I'll really say about them, unless you have something to add, when they were sitting down and talking, this was after she consummated. This was after the conversation with Stasia and Morgan that she had. She's sitting there telling him she feels a lot of pressure. She said that she feels like everything she does is like kind of scrutinized, and she's wondering if she's checking his boxes. It like now she's jumping through hoops, and she's jumping herself through these hoops. He's not even necessarily like asking her to, but again, she's playing catch up for the rest of this relationship. For the rest of this 8 weeks, she's going to be kind of chasing behind him, trying to prove herself. Yes. And she said as much. She doesn't have to lay it out any more clearly than what she said. She's like, I'm trying to, make sure, am I checking these boxes? And he was like, don't do that.
He did.
He said, don't do that. Because there were moments earlier on before they consummated when she was like talking, and the way that they edited the video, it just looked like she was talking for hours and hours, and he was like, oh my gosh. And he even mentioned that he's like, it's not exactly a red flag, but so he's not going to be comfortable with her trying to force it. Now he's gotten what he wants, and he wants her to be relaxed and cool and chill. But she ain't that type of person. Yeah. She didn't want to give it up without having more of a commitment. Yeah. So she is tense, and she said as much. So it'll be interesting to see if she's able to like hold on to any of her dignity throughout the rest of this. I hope that, she can take a step back and start to value herself and be like, you know what? I did do this. Maybe I should dial it back a little bit before I'm too far gone. Yeah. And she's trying to do that too, because she said, I can't, what did she say? I can't let my guard down. Yeah. I think those were the words she used.
How can she let her guard down when she doesn't know where he stands? He's not going to let her know where he stands for the entirety of the 8 weeks.
And she can't let her guard down, but she gave up something that was very precious to her. So she's in an awkward spot. She's in a very awkward spot. I don't like the dynamic that has now developed between these two.
Okay, let me ask you this. She's in a bad spot. Who put her there? Was it him?
Oh, she put herself there.
Okay.
She put herself there. You have to, this personal accountability around here, baby. I'm going to talk about that all the time. It is because you can't expect somebody to value you or respect you or anything you more than you do. They're not, most people aren't going to. You can run into some people who will, but for the most part, that's not something you can expect.
Yeah.
Even from your married at first sight spouse. Mm-hmm. Maybe you're not married at first sight spouse, you can expect that type of thing from, but not in a situation like this. You have to be guarded enough to treat this person like someone that you're dating and someone that you first met. And here, she didn't do it. She tried to solidify things with the consummation. And,
Okay, well, let me ask you this. Is there a way for her or him or them to pull things back into a good balance, do you think?
He's not going to, because he's in the driver's seat. He's where he wants to be. He's comfortable. He's he's got a beautiful wife. Yeah. He's sleeping with her. Yeah. He's enjoying the time of his life on this show. Yeah. It's win-win. There's nothing for him to lose here. Yeah. And I'm not calling him a jerk.
Unless he actually really wants a really good wife.
Yes. But he's gonna have to see, because he's feeling this out. Him consummating the marriage with her. I don't know whether or not I'm allowed to say the words, but him consummating the marriage with her, it didn't affect him emotionally.
No.
So he has nothing to lose here. So he has no motivation to change anything unless he shifts so much so that he cares about her comfort more than his own. And he doesn't right now.
He's not going to.
Right now, can she fix it? I mean, obviously she can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, but she can change her demeanor. She cannot try to jump through hoops. She cannot try to prove herself to him and just be like, you know what? I made this choice. I can't undo it, but I'm not going to let it define me or how I behave for the rest of this relationship. True. Now, if I'm not comfortable doing it anymore, I won't do it anymore. And that'll just have to be that. He'll have to accept it. Yeah. And if he wants to take that offensively, like I'm trying to use it as a punishment or something like that, then that's on him. Yeah. But it's not about that. At this point, I have to look out for myself.
Very true. It is, like you said, is at this point, it's not about putting toothpaste back in the tube. But it is about not putting more toothpaste out of that, getting more toothpaste out of that tube. You know what I mean? And so I think you're absolutely correct. So I think she's probably going to have to dial it back and find her true value and her principles and stand on that. And then also understand that, hey, this man is kind of playing me. He's playing me. So I need to hold true to who I am and keep things to a certain degree to where she can manage it in health, because this is not right now. She's going to end up fried by the end of this 8 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not getting a sense from him that he's really that into her. And he's not giving me, I don't want him to give me Justin, but I'm just like, he's just kind of like, all right, we'll figure it out. Yeah, he's not like pouring himself into this process. So, I could say that over and over in 30 different ways, but we know what it is. So, y'all let us know what you think. I don't have good predictions for them, and I'm worried about Lindy. I don't want her to be scarred by this process, and it looks like it could go down that path.
It definitely does. So, I feel the exact same way. I think she should run.
Yeah. Run. And it's not even about the bear costume yet. I can't wait till he busts that thing out and see what she says. I bet you. I'm going to make a prediction right now. Yeah. She's going to be like, that's so awesome that you do that. Because she's still trying to cater to whatever it is that she thinks he wants.
Who knows? So, she probably has a girl bear costume waiting to put on her.
She'll put that on too. Yeah. She'll be a jar of honey at this point. It don't matter. So... But let us know what you think. If you think there's any redemption for Lindy, if she can get it back together. Yeah. If you think that he's really into her, I don't see it. But if you think he is, and let us know that too. Let's talk about it. Like, share, comment, subscribe, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.